Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lena and I'm a sophomore at St. Lawrence University. I am currently in the midst of my finals week, but on the day I was filming this, it was Sunday, the day before our finals week officially started. This year I have a final in every single one of my classes, which means I have 5 finals this week and a lot of studying to do. So I decided, why not film a study with me? If you are enjoying the video so far, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it so much if you would do that. But without further ado, we have a lot of studying to do, so let's get started. As I mentioned before, I have 5 finals this week, 2 of which are traditional finals, basically they're tests, exams, that kind of thing, and then my other 3 are essays. So for my traditional exams, I will typically make an outline. If the professor sends us an outline, I will start with that, and in this case for my economics final, our professor kindly sent us an outline, so I pulled up his outline and I was copying it word for word, just so I could get a feel of what it was. I like to make my outlines handwritten because that's how I can retain the information better. So that's how I started out with this one. Why I find it especially helpful to make a handwritten outline when you're first starting out is as you're writing down each one, you can't really skim through the topics, and it becomes much more obvious as to what you don't understand and what you really need to start working on and studying. By the time I had finished handwriting the version of his outline, I realized that there was a lot of details that I wanted to add in to help me study, and so I realized it'd be much more efficient and effective for me to type it up. So I ended up retyping up what I had already written and then adding in notes as I went. This took way longer than I had anticipated, but I'm really glad I did it because by the time I finished, I had a great outline to work off of for when I am studying for this exam. By the time I was finished, it was almost time for lunch, so I decided to send my econ outline and my accounting outline, which I had finished previously, to the printer. After I was done printing, I grabbed lunch and took about a 45-minute lunch break, which I highly recommend taking a lunch break. Don't try to do work during your lunch break because it just makes you much more inefficient. And when I finished lunch, I made myself a cup of tea and got ready to work on my next assignment of the day, which you could probably guess is an essay for my Poe class. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that I don't have the most positive relationship with Poe, but for this final we have to do a research project about Poe and then a certain critical theory or literary studies. So I chose post-colonial studies to analyze Poe's only novel, The Narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym, and we had to submit a rough draft last week, and so I'm just working on that rough draft and working on revising it. One would think that because I already had a rough draft, this would make my life a lot easier, but that's just not the case at all, because usually I will start to second guess myself or decide I want to change it completely, so I'm trying to avoid that this time around. But as you can see, I have certain things highlighted and bolded, and those are just things that I don't want to forget and say later, and I'm just trying to hammer out my textual analysis. Eventually, I decided I had had enough of Mr. Poe, and I decided to switch to another class to do another assignment for my finals, which is my creative nonfiction journal. My goal was to get in 1 or 2 entries, but I ended up completely catching up in my journal, which made me so happy because now I'm done with it for the semester. My suggestion is always, if you are on a productive streak and you think you can keep continuing it, just do it. As you can see, I change my position a lot when I'm writing, but whatever it takes to get it done, I count as a success. Again, if you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I will handwrite my journal entries and then I will type them up. I don't know why I do it. It was a bad idea, but because I started out the semester, I'm gonna end the semester that way. I had a meeting shortly after I finished my journal entries, so I had to go to that meeting, but when I was done with that meeting, I came back to work on my Poe essay again. I had got some new ideas since I had last written, so I wanted to get those down before I forgot them, so I was just working on that. Also, thesaurus is a great resource. Of course, don't use it nonstop because then it becomes very obvious and your essay is just weird. But sometimes when I'm blanking on words, it is an excellent tool to use. I worked on my Poe essay right up until supper, and then I went and got my supper and kind of chilled out, called my family, took a break, and then I decided to work on my plan for Monday and Tuesday because I really couldn't decide what I wanted to work on next. So I decided that I would figure out what my Monday and Tuesday are looking like to see what I wasn't really going to have time to work on. If you notice my little bird friend in the back, his name is Obed. He is my roommate and I love him to death. After working on my plan for Monday and Tuesday, I realized that I was kind of in trouble for my creative nonfiction revisions. So I opened up those documents and started out by just writing comments on my original draft as to ideas that I had. I wanted to keep my original draft intact, so I copied and made a new version. And then I was looking in one of our essay collections to see different techniques. My revisions actually went way better than I could have ever anticipated, and I was glad I decided to work on them that night. At about 10:15, I decided I'd done enough work for the night. I wanted to be able to get a decent amount of sleep, so I decided to close everything up and shut everything down. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you all in my next video.